Hello there, this is Tyler Movie Guy, and today we will be talking about my top 10 most anticipated TV shows of 2025. And before we get started, I just want to thank all of you for helping me reach 100 subscribers. It happened a couple weeks back, but I was in between editing my last video, so I didn't really get to talk about it. So now here we are talking about it. And yeah, I just want to thank all of you for helping me reach 100 subscribers, and let's just keep it going. So with that said, let's start talking about my top 10 most anticipated TV shows of 2025.
Why you son of a great power comes great responsibility.
My brother and a twin!
You do this all day. I am Iron Man.
Why so serious?
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Kicking off our list at number 10, we have Marvel Zombies, and this is a very interesting series because it's basically a spin-off of one of the episodes from season 1 of What If, and that episode was definitely one of my favorite episodes of the whole series. So the fact that they're planning on expanding upon that episode has me very, very excited. And on top of that, they're also making it a mature series, and Marvel so far has been kind of hesitant with their maturity rating. You know, they did Deadpool and Wolverine, and then they did Echo, but it has me very surprised that they're choosing to do an animated series in a mature setting, because you know, when you think of animated, for me at least, I think of like, you know, kiddie stuff. But the fact that they're going the opposite direction in mature with an animated series has me really, really excited for these zombies to tear up people and eat them, and all that nasty gory stuff gets me really, really, really excited. But the two things that get me a little cautious about this series are, number one, in that What If episode, they did zombify most of my favorite characters. It's cool to see your favorite characters like zombified and see like what they'll look like and them fighting and all of that. It's cool to see that premise, but now that we're expanding upon that episode, they kind of shot themselves in the foot by zombifying all the cool characters, and now we're stuck with like the less cool characters. So it's majority like phase 4 and 5 characters. So, you know, once again, it's like I don't really need to see more of those characters. We're already seeing them a bunch in like the recent movies and shows and everything. So I'd love to see like past characters, but like in this instance, it kind of makes sense why they can't. So they kind of shot themselves in the foot. And then also the other thing I'm worried about is I'm pretty sure the people making this are the same people who did What If. And What If just progressively got worse and worse and worse. And season 3 specifically is absolute dog shit if you watched my MCU ranking of 2024. So that gets me really, really worried. But also I feel like What If is like, the possibilities are endless, and they chose really, really bad possibilities. But I feel like with Marvel Zombies, it's more of a straighter path to, it's easier to get right. What If it should have been easy to get right, but somehow they messed that up. But I don't know, I'm still holding out hope that they'll redeem themselves and get Marvel Zombies right. So that's why this show comes in number 10. Coming in 9th place, we have Alien Earth, and this is a series we don't know too much about, but we did get a teaser of it a while back that still didn't really show us too much. All you really need to know about this series is like straight from the title, Alien Earth. It's about the xenomorphs coming to Earth, and the fact that we've only gotten this like a couple times, but it was done really, really, really badly with the Alien vs. Predator films, has me really, really excited that they will get this concept right this time. And considering Alien Romulus just came out last year and it was a great kind of revival to the franchise, I'm really excited for this series to like keep the momentum going and give us more great Alien content. We don't know too much about this show because of Alien Romulus being a hit, and I'm just more amped for more Alien content. I'm sure I will get even more excited once we get a full trailer revealing more of like the plot and, you know, maybe some recognizable actors and stuff like that. So all in all, yeah, I don't know too much, but just the fact that we're getting more Alien and Romulus was good. I'm just pumped for more Alien content. So all in all, that's why it comes in 9th place. I was just a real big fan of Gen V season 1. It just had all the same kind of beats as The Boys, with like the dark, sexual, gory humor and all of that just made for such a really fun show. And this is also The Boys and Gen V is a series I like to watch with my dad, which is kind of funny considering how sexual and gory it gets. It's weird to watch it with family, but you know, that's our bonding moment together. So that's always fun to watch with my dad. And yeah, so I just really like Gen V, and it left off on like a pretty big cliffhanger with like all of our good guys like getting trapped in a lab and everything. And I'm curious how they expand upon that and hopefully lead into the season finale of The Boys and all of that. So all in all, yeah, I'm just more excited to see this cast of characters and see all that sexual, gory, dark humor and all of that Gen V and The Boys are all known for. All in all, that's why it comes in 8th place. Coming in 7th place, we have Spider-Man Noir. And for the longest time, me and tons of other people have just been praying, please end this Sony Spider-Man villain franchise. And finally, last month, with Kraven coming out, they have announced that this godforsaken franchise has finally ended. And so with that, I feel like they're finally figuring out nobody wanted movies like that. And now they're shifting towards content like this, the Spider-Man Noir series, and hopefully, you know, Peter Porker or Spider-Gwen and stuff like that to come. But, you know, this is the starting point of hopefully something really great. And yeah, just a series like this sounds super, super interesting. Spider-Man in a noir detective black and white style like this has me really, really excited. And Nicolas Cage is back to play the character. So it gets me like wondering, is this the same Spider-Man Noir from like the Spider-Verse franchise, or is this like a different version? Either way, I'm really excited for this whole series and just excited to see Spider-Man in like a totally different light, and hopefully we get to see other like iconic Spider-Man characters and villains in like this noir type style. Would just be really, really cool. I hope they go like a little cheesy with it, like just like try to like be more like old kind of detective series back in the day and stuff like that. That's why I really want it to be like the Noir from Spider-Verse, like have him like that, but just like a whole series in live action about him. Just gets me really, really excited. And you know, maybe they'll tie it into future Marvel stuff and or like beyond the Spider-Verse or stuff like that. So yeah, all in all, this just gets me really, really excited that they're like finally listening to us, and they finally like heard us and want to make something that we will finally actually like. So yeah, I hope this is good, and I hope we get more, not like Peter Parker Spider-Man movies, or I hope we get that, of course, but I hope we also get like cool shows and movies about like, you know, you're not so traditional Peter Parker style Spider-Man. So yeah, all in all, I'm very excited for this series, and that's why it comes in number 7. Coming in 6th place, we have Peacemaker season 2. And just like Gen V, I was a huge fan of the first season of this series. It was just absolutely hilarious, and I was just amazed at the fact that James Gunn managed to take Peacemaker, the most hateable character from the Suicide Squad. Me specifically, I was like super questioning, like, this guy was a total asshole. Why is he getting a show and all of that and everything? And then he just totally like changed my entire mind on him and just gave so much heart and humor and everything to this entire series. And it just gets me really, really, really excited for season 2. And I'm also very curious how he's gonna play a part in the new DCU. Like, are they going to like explain a couple things, like have him actually kind of shift over, or just have it kind of like he was in the DCU the whole time and they're kind of taking that approach? Which, me personally, I don't know which kind of path I want them to go with, but either way, this is kind of like the one thing from the DCEU that I really, really, really wanted them to keep going with. Like, one season of Peacemaker wasn't enough. I was really sad that like once we heard about the DCU, I got worried like we were gonna never see Peacemaker again, but I'm so happy that he is also transferring over, so that gets me really, really happy to see him and his whole crew back again doing their hilarious shenanigans and all of that. So all in all, yeah, I'm just really excited to see all these characters, the humor, the heart, and I want to see how this separates from the DCEU and connects to DCU and all of that. So yeah, all in all, that's why this show comes in 6th place. Coming in 5th place, we have The Last of Us Season 2. And just like Gen V and Peacemaker, I was a huge fan of Season 1 of this series, so of course I'm going to be hyped for Season 2. Unfortunately, I never got to play the games before. I've heard great things about them, but me personally, I've been an Xbox kid most of my life. I'm using my old 2016 Xbox to play the pictures on my TV.
I'm tired, boss.
And if I were to ever get a new console, I'd probably get a PS5 because the exclusives look way better, but I'm just a cheap bastard and I've been procrastinating buying one. And I just don't play games anymore because, you know, I'm too busy with movies. But besides the fact, The Last of Us, I am super excited for Season 2 because, yeah, I just loved Season 1 and I'm really excited to see where they take this whole series. I know a bit of what's going to happen with the Season 2 because I've heard snippets of the second game, and, you know, Joel, your luck is running out. Time is not on your side. I know what happens to him, so that is going to be very interesting to see in this series. I think they did say they're splitting the game 2 into 2 seasons, so I guess, you know, Joel's demise will be Season 3 and everything. But yeah, all in all, I'm just really excited to see these two characters together. You know, specifically Pedro Pascal, he's just killing it with everything lately, and this is definitely no exception. He plays a great Joel. You know, I don't know the character from the game, but fans of the game say he's doing a great job, and you know, I'm just a Pedro Pascal fan, and he's just such a badass, so I think he's also doing a great job. So yeah, these two characters running around this zombie apocalypse and all of that is just really fun to see, and it's just such an emotional series. This might be the only series to have like me crying in like the very first episode of, you know, Season 1, so that just says a lot about this whole series. So yeah, if they can just capture all the magic of Season 1, the emotion, the heart, the relationship between these two characters in this cool post-apocalyptic zombie wasteland, if they can like have all of the same magic from Season 1 into Season 2 and Season 3, I am extremely excited. So that's why it comes in 5th place. Coming in 4th place, we have Squid Game Season 3. And just like all the other series on this list that have had past seasons, I loved Season 1 and Season 2 of Squid Game. And specifically with Squid Game, I definitely have some recency bias considering Season 2 just came out like a month ago. So I think it's really, really smart on Netflix part to strategically place Season 2 and Season 3 like 6 months apart because of the big cliffhanger that Season 2 ended on. So yeah, great job on Netflix for like thinking about that and placing them and like keeping the momentum and the anticipation going and all of that. With this Season 3, if they can just keep the magic of Season 1 and Season 2 and stick the landing, we are in for like just an all in all great series. But also what I'm a little bit worried about is like, as you can see from this picture here, it shows the doll from like the red light, green light game. So I think that kind of implies that they're gonna do more games. And, you know, the games are like one of the most interesting parts of this whole show. So like on one hand, I'm excited to see more games, unique games, and people getting killed and all of that. And that's the fun of the show. But like 3 seasons in, it's like, okay, how do they get the guy like back in the game, and how do they like do it without getting more redundant and stuff like that? So the games are kind of what make the show, but also if you just keep doing it over and over again, it might get a little old. So I'm a little worried about that, but I still have faith in them all in all. So that's why I'm really excited for this series, and that's why it comes in 4th place. Coming in 3rd place, we have Andor Season 2. And once again, I was a big fan of the first season, so of course I'm going to be excited for the second season. And I know some people just absolutely praise Andor and say it's one of the greatest pieces of Star Wars of all time and all of that. And, you know, good for you and everything, but me personally, I still lean towards like the lightsabers and the Force and all of that, and like the more traditional kind of Star Wars and everything. So yeah, this is good in its own right, but me personally, I still stick towards that other aspect of Star Wars. Specifically with this season, I feel like I'm gonna like it more than Season 1, honestly, because it's slowly connecting more into Rogue One, and it's gonna have like more characters I'm familiar with, and I like it, like K2SO and director Krennic and all the stuff like that. I'm just excited to like see the grittier side of Star Wars, and hopefully some cool characters that I like from Rogue One and stuff like that. If it can be as good as Andor, and then hopefully a little bit better, all in all, I'm really excited for this series. And a little side note, now that we're talking about some Star Wars, I just want to briefly say that Skeleton Crew was a really big surprise for me. I was not expecting it to be as good as it was, but it really did blow me away. Acolyte was garbage. Skeleton Crew was great, and let's just keep that going with Andor Season 2. So all in all, that's why this series comes in third place. Coming in second place, we have Invincible Season 3. And yes, once again, I was a big fan of the first 2 seasons, so of course I'm excited for Season 3. And I just love dark, mature, gritty, animated series like this one, and just the whole kind of origin story of Mark and Invincible, and his whole dynamic with all the other superhero characters, and it's, you know, it's kind of like Spider-Man, where he's trying to like live a normal life and be a superhero at the same time, but he's, you know, got the whole dynamic with his dad and everything, and the whole Viltrumite thing and everything is just all super interesting. And so with the plot of Season 3, it's coming out in like just a couple weeks, so that's really exciting. But the plot, basically what I've gathered from the trailers, is it's kind of like Invincible's going against Cecil and the whole government and everything. So that does sound like really interesting to me, but also at the same time, it feels like they're just kind of prolonging the whole Viltrumite war, and they're kind of just like padding it out because they know that's like what the big event is, so they're gonna save that for like the very last season. So once we watch this new season, like we'll decide if it was like, did it kind of fit with the story, or are they just kind of like just making up seasons, and they know if they do the Viltrumite war right away, no one's going to be too interested in like the later season. So once we watch Season 3, we'll kind of like decide like, was it warranted or whatever. Or like, maybe I haven't read the comics, so maybe if I did read the comics, like this is like an integral part of the whole story or whatever. But yeah, all in all, I'm just excited to get back into this fun but also dark, brutal animated universe, and yeah, it's just really fun, and that's why it comes in second place. But of course, coming in number 1, we have Daredevil Born Again. And for the millionth time, I was a huge fan of the Netflix seasons of this series, so I am really hopeful that they could just carry on the same vibe into this new kind of Disney Plus reboot-ish-esque version of Daredevil. And also the fact that they basically like recorded like an entire season of this series, but it was just so bad that they fired a whole bunch of people and they scrapped the whole thing and they just like started all over again. It just gets me like really hopeful that they know what we want. They knew they messed up the first time. They're like, no, we're not putting this out there. We're going to spend the more money. We're going to spend the more time to give the people what they want and like have a well-deserved somewhat of a season 4. So, and I feel like that's what they did, and that's what we're going to get in like a couple months or whatever. And I'm just really excited for that. And it kind of makes you think, I kind of want to see that really trash season, honestly. Like don't make it canon, but I kind of want to see it, honestly. Like that's just, it's out there. And because it's out there, I want it. But okay, so with Born Again, I'm just super hyped. Like I said in one of my past videos, I watched season 1 like a while ago. I wasn't crazy about it, and so I wasn't like dying to like keep watching. And then, or actually I think I got like halfway through season 2, and season 2 definitely is like the weakest season, so I can kind of get why I took a little hiatus. And then I finished season 2, and then I got into season 3, and just season 3 was phenomenal, and I'm so glad I watched the whole thing. And so yeah, if they just keep it going just the way season 3 was, and have the whole Kingpin Mare thing, and you know, of course, Daredevil Matt Murdock is trying to bring him down and all of that with his whole Daredevil persona, but also at the same time with the whole Matt Murdock lawyer persona going after Kingpin, is really exciting. You know, bringing back Karen Page, bringing back Foggy Nelson, bringing back Punisher, bringing back Bullseye. Just, oh my god, I'm hyped. I'm so hyped. And also with this series, I'm very curious if it's gonna be like a weekly drop or if it's gonna be an all-at-once drop. Me personally, I want a weekly drop just because I don't have the time to binge the whole series, and I really want to watch this week by week and not have it spoiled, because, you know, if I can watch one episode a week, it's, you know, it's way easier to just watch 1 hour episode once a week and then not have it spoiled. So I'm praying for that, because I really don't want this series spoiled. And it's just crazy how excited I am for this series. Like, you know, I'm, you know, hence the name Ty the Movie Guy. I'm a big movie guy, but like, might be like my second most anticipated thing of the whole year after Superman. That's just how hyped I am and how amazing the first 3 seasons of this show was. So just please just be as good as like season 3 of the Netflix Daredevil, and we are in for such a phenomenal series. And, you know, hopefully the other Marvel shows can like learn from this, that, you know, we want serious content, not the goofy jokes and all of that. Just make it serious, make it like plot driven, and have complex characters and all of that. Just please be good. So yeah, all in all, that is why I am extremely hyped for this series, and that's why it comes in at number 1. So I would love to hear some of your most anticipated series of 2025, and that's about it. So farewell.